Christina Goes to Wrestling vlog, this time here in beautiful downtown Cincinnati, where we will be embarking on a doubleheader for AEW Dynamite and Collision. I have never seen a single episode of Collision, but I do watch Dynamite on a pretty much weekly basis. So I'm excited to go and see what it's going to be like. I got 4 seats for Dynamite, but then for Collision, I'm like way up there, so it'd be kind of cool to get those vantage points. It's really stupid hot out, so we're a little early getting over from Kentucky to Ohio, but I wanted to take you all along for the crazy ride, and we will see what happens, friends. As per usual, grab your snacks, grab your twisted beverage, get comfy and cozy. Let's get to it, friends. I just had like one of the most Cincinnati encounters ever. Somebody asked me where the nearest skyline was, and I had to ask which one. I just picked up a scoop of ice cream and a cone as a little treat for surviving this humidity, and because we had some extra time before doors open for tonight's show. So cheers. We've got strawberry shortcake, so this should be pretty good. It's pretty good. It's from a little local chain called Hello Honey, and this was actually my first time getting something from there, so not too bad. Okay, so this is kind of cool. I don't know if I'm actually allowed to film anything. Oh dear God, I hope I don't get kicked out for this, but we got the trucks. Okay, so there's the Bengals Stadium, and then you can kind of see the truck over there. This was too cool not to share with the clouds and everything. Like, it's just awesome. Okay, so I'm like 90% sure the instructions said to go through like maybe this way, but I don't see anyone. I'm just really confuzzled at this point. I think we found it. Perfect. Well, I found the bathroom. Ooh, neato. Here we go. Look at that. Okay, this actually looks kind of cool. This has been an unmitigated disaster trying to find my seat. I don't even know if I'm in the right seat. I don't even know if any of us know if we're in the right seats.
Come on.
We go, everyone. We gotta recreate the inverse of, well, kind of sort of what we just watched on our screens, right? Well, y'all watched on your screens. I was trying to see stuff. Oh, this is a really cool sight. This is awesome. All right, friends, as you can see, we've made it home and we are safe in one piece. I was gonna try to film a little outro bit, but the Reds game was also letting out at the same time as we were letting out at AEW. So I've got to tell you all about the snafu that we had getting to our seats in the first place. So what happened was that when I bought the ticket, I was under the impression that it was an aisle seat. What I didn't know was that there were 10 other seats next to me that weren't on the Ticketmaster app. So like there was this whole row of seats just completely empty. And the way it was set up was like really confusing too, because like there was the right side and the left side. And I'm like, okay, so the right side is A and the left side is B. So I eventually figured that part out. But then like some people were going from like 1 through whatever, and then the other people were being told like 1 through whatever, right? Like it was the inverse. It was so confusing. So like I'm pretty sure a lot of us on the floor may or may not have been in the exact same seat that we were supposed to be. I think I was going back and forth between like 3 or 4 different seats. And the way that the seats were marked were like in chalk on the floor, and some of them were like under the seats. So it was like extra confusing. I didn't want to show the struggle on the vlog, but it was so confusing. Nonetheless, we had a good time once the show got started, once we all knew where we were supposed to be. The people in my section were hilarious. And yeah, we had a good time nonetheless. I think that's what matters. It was kind of hard for me to kind of get into it at the start of the show, just simply because I just couldn't see anything. But like once the matches got started, then I was like, okay, I'm gonna get into this. So that was my experience with the floor seat. Now it'll be interesting to see how the inverse will be. And I'm anticipating that like, since we're going to be higher up, we might have a better vantage point. We'll see what happens there. But yeah, I had a great time. I don't know how much footage I'll be able to actually get on this vlog simply because of, well, profanity and me being incredibly short. I had a great time. That's what counts. And we'll be back for Collision tomorrow. But oh my god, there was something crazy that happened too. So I was walking to the building, right? And I thought that I was supposed to enter in like one way, but I apparently wasn't because there was like nobody there. All of a sudden I'm like walking up the street, and it was like up the hill towards the road and also like the Bengals stadium. And I'm like walking up this hill. All of a sudden I saw I think it was Will Ospreay. He like jumped out of a freaking like Chevy Suburban. I'm like, what is happening here? So I was spoiled, but like in the most hilarious way possible with a surprise little return or whatever. So that happened. To me. So we will be back to go to Collision for the very first time tomorrow. So I'm excited. This will be interesting. We are back for Collision. I've never actually seen a single episode of the show, but it's wrestling, and I enjoy going to wrestling shows. And we're going to be up at, I think, the 200 section, so that'll be a very different experience from sitting on the floor last night. So we'll see what happens. By the way, in case if you're wondering where the parking lot's at, where the end of Dynamite was this week, lo and behold, it's probably a little bit further back, as you can see where it's like kind of a parking garage, but it's not a park garage, it's a parking area. Alrighty, we're headed up to the promised land known as the nosebleeds. Only been in section 100, I've never been in 200 before. So this will be interesting. Here it goes, here it goes, here it goes again. We got another escalator.
So if they take the cap off and just throw it, it's rude, but nobody's going to get hurt, you know what I mean? So it's a liability.
Alrighty, friends, we are back on the couch. We are home safe and sound from Collision. Alright, so before we jump into our Collision thoughts, first of all, I want to just get the elephant out of the room. A lot of people in my section were getting in trouble for recording footage, so that's why there's a bit of a weird jump probably right at this point. I just didn't want to chance it, okay? I want to be in good graces. This was a night and day experience compared to Dynamite last night. So the way that it's structured is that the first 30 minutes you get Ring of Honor matches, then you get Collision for the 2-hour taping, and then you get about another, like, presumably half an hour of Ring of Honor matches. Listen, a lot of us were tired by the time that Collision was done being taped and everything, which was about, like, I want to say a little after 10, something like that. So the pacing's a little bit off. They had like 3 shorter sort of matches when they taped Ring of Honor. At least that was the first, like, half hour, give or take there. So I'm assuming it went on for another 30 minutes or something. So you get there, it's like a good 3.5 hours. There's like little breaks in between, but like not a ton of breaks. But like, I think Collision is definitely going to be more for like the hardcore fans. I think that's pretty safe to say. Did I have any idea what was going on half the time? No, I did not. And that's probably me because I don't actually watch the show on a weekly basis. I just like going to the shows. The matches were very long. They were very long. Like, we're talking like 2 or 3 like 20-minute matches, kind of like back to back to back almost. It was something like that, or at least that's how it felt like to me. So a lot of us, by the time we started to get to like the 9 o'clock hour, we were tired already. And keep in mind that this is like during the work week too, I think, and it's like a Thursday night. And I think part of it too was like there was just a different crowd in general for Dynamite. Like you could tell there was more of a mixture. There was like the semi-casual fans that like they might just watch the weekly show here and there or something, and they might go to the shows. There were the hardcore fans, which like was probably the group that I was in. And then there were some people that kind of was like, you know what, let's just go to wrestling last minute. So I think the crowds were very different on both nights. And I think the shows kind of reflect that too. Again, I'm not the key demo, but that's just my observations. A lot of people were even leaving, I think, like even like halfway through, because they were just tired. There was no other way around it. There were some good matches and moments, but we were all just very fatigued and very tired. And I think that probably sums it up right. I don't know. Again, most of the matches felt like they went on way too long. I think that was kind of a common thread we were all kind of talking about, like in our section. Either way, I did find that nice sweet spot, like way up there, because I can kind of see a little bit of everything, which was cool. So that being said, I hope everyone enjoyed this little vlog. I'm very tired. I hope nothing's in my eyeball. I don't know what's going on at this point. On that note, thank you all so much for tuning in. Leave a like, leave a comment, make sure to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell button so you get notifications around here and that sort of thing. And thank you all so much for tuning in, and I will see you all in the next one.